I don't think this will be a long meeting. Susan circulated the minutes. Does anybody have any other comments or corrections or?
No, I thought they were great. I did my little duties that were noted in the minutes. So
Do we have a volunteer for today? I don't remember who's.
to take minutes, you mean?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm happy to.
Okay, normally alphabetical, but Allison isn't here, so.
Oh, that's a good way to do it. You want me to wait?
Well,
Without
you-
Allison.
you've gotten off the hook because it's your first official time, so we can make an exception to.
Whatever's easiest. Doesn't matter to me. I'll do Allison's minutes and then she'll owe me.
Okay. Good. So do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes. Is it from December?
Mhm. Yep.
And second?
I don't know if I'm allowed to second because I wrote the minutes.
I'll second.
Well, I'll second. All in favor?
All right.
Okay, approved. I actually don't have the agenda in front of me. Was it just the two items I put on?
Yeah.
So the first was the feasibility study for the center school. The select board last Tuesday voted to approve the RFP to get a consultant to do that. And the funding was all approved in November, so I'm not quite sure why it took as long as it did, but I think it was because of Sylvie leaving and Erica not coming on board and then being swamped. So that will go out. I've suggested to Pete Kane that he get representatives from several committees around town to help with the feasibility study on the idea that the more input about what the town wants, the better. Not just the center school committee, which is very small. And so I suggested the historical commission, the housing committee, maybe the finance committee, and anybody else who's interested. So I'm hoping that somebody other than, I will be there, and technically I could be a historical commission person, but I think it would be good to have somebody else. I don't think it's going to should not involve a lot of time if you just are involved with the feasibility study, because I think it's mostly helping the consultant, showing up at a couple meetings and commenting on their.
Have they chosen the consultant?
No, the RFP, when it goes out, will be to get people. I think it's supposed to go out Wednesday.
So I assume then we don't know when those meetings are yet.
There'll have to be a selection process. It won't be till spring, and we don't know when they are.
I can possibly be another body. I don't know how valuable my input will be, but I could probably.
It's having.
Why would it not be valuable?
I don't know.
I think in this case, it's not so much knowing about the historical preservation or what the CPA rules are, but just having some sense of what might make sense for Whately.
Yeah. I mean, I find that a lot of the committees are not necessarily people with young children, and
yeah,
so that could
Opinions
be helpful.
is what we're looking for here, right?
Yeah. So I think there's probably no limit on people sitting in, although things get unwieldy with too many. I'm not really worried about too many inputs. Much more the other side. So, so if you're willing and you can do it, I mean, Mary's in a very weak position here because she just retired and she hasn't filled up her time yet.
I probably shouldn't have told you this.
I sang about you.
That you volunteered. No, I think that the small kids is a good thing. My guess is it's going to come down to having affordable housing as the area with the most likelihood to get grants, but that doesn't mean that's necessarily the best thing, or that affordable housing can't be kid related too. I know
Yeah,
Catherine
absolutely.
Wolkowitz really felt the need for family housing. So anyway, well, good. That's one thing. The other is that for some reason, and I don't remember what, I took a look at the About Whately page on whately.org, and it hasn't been updated for quite a while.
So were you talking about the historical aspect of it or the current piece?
Both. I haven't gotten to the historical aspect yet.
Oh, okay.
So the lead page starts with the 2010 census. It'll give you a rough idea when it was
Oh, okay.
updated. When you dig into it, so I'm going to take this to the select board, either write a note or go to one of their meetings and say, hey, this doesn't look so great. It lists some businesses that have gone out of business as great things. It's has the community. There's a communications page that gives some Facebook pages, but doesn't mention FCAT. Valley Neighbors isn't mentioned. There are some interesting new businesses that aren't mentioned. And I thought, well, if we're updating, then maybe they will want to know about the historical. There's a page called Historical Whately, which I don't know. I remember Donna talking about it, Susan? Do you?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember if we'd updated it.
Yeah.
Or...
Well, one problem is the title, because it's not Whately history. What the page is Whately history. When I see Historical Whately, I expect, look at all. Here's the museum that shows what we have, and here are all these nice old buildings, and this is the historic landscape. But this is a history of Whately. It's not very long. It's about 3 or 4 paragraphs. But it doesn't provide any link to any of the other resources in town. And it starts off with the white settlers, which is a problem.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And so I suspect we should offer to update it. And I didn't know the best process for this, whether we should talk about things that ought to be there and have somebody try and incorporate it, or what your thoughts would be, whether you want to read it and think about it. But the things I noticed were nothing about the native peoples and not much about the mills. Well, I guess some about the mills. Nothing about broom, but that wouldn't expect to be there, and certainly nothing about links to the National Register districts, or to hidden history, or to the Historical Society resources page, or any of that. So you obviously read it, Mary. Did you have any other thoughts?
I just read it quickly thinking it was on the agenda. Trying to be a good student. I mean, I did notice that there weren't any links, and I did notice the sort of bias that there wasn't a lot about Native populations, but outside of that, I mean, I can't say I'm an expert on the
It's
history.
well written. It's what's there is not inaccurate.
Yeah.
I will say, sorry, I'm just looking at that. I rewrote some of this history and matched it up with some other stuff for the Whately 250 webpage, like 3 years ago. So I actually have something that could be useful to look at. And I did reword it to start with like our native settlements.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that? Is that the best thing to do? Like
It's
share
like,
share
yeah,
it with the group?
let me see.
Well, we don't need to do this. I mean, we have
time.
time.
Yeah, no. I was
Yeah.
just thinking like the first thing for all of us to do would be to read the page and then
Yeah.
maybe read your update that you used.
Yeah, I'm trying to I PDF'd the Whately 250 website, like each page before it, because we didn't renew the license for that since it was over. So I
Yeah.
have to see if I actually have a Word document with it in it or if I just have this PDF. So it'll take, but I'll send it around
The PDF
to
is
the
fine.
group.
It's just a matter of reading it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always export it. Export it to Word if we get to, but we have time, but
I mean, I'm curious to see what your response is from the select board.
they say, oh, yes, yes. And then they'll try and find somebody to do the other pages.
I'm looking to see, Ashley, if I have it, if you had sent it to me.
So are you suggesting, Judy, that we would like get the ball rolling by saying, oh, we've updated our section,
Well,
so
no, I'm saying we will look at ours as part of this. I don't,
Okay.
I would
Okay.
volunteer to go any further. I don't think we should. I mean,
okay.
I don't know whose lap it would fall under.
Mhm.
Probably Jessica, or Erica. There's they might want to send out. There's a business directory that's
Mhm.
got the tea guys and the B&B on Haydenville Road that's gone, and some other stuff, and not some of the new businesses. And Nasami is mentioned in here, I think, but
I
not,
think yeah, it was in there, I believe. Yeah.
but it's not mentioned in the businesses or the attraction.
Interesting.
It's one of the, when you say you're in Whately, the only way anybody's ever heard of it is the Whately Inn or Nasami or the Castaways.
I would say, or Club Castaway.
Yeah.
That's what my
Castaways-
friends like to
Castaways
mention.
is mentioned either.
I think Quanquat's getting a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, well, Quan is there. Yes, you're right. Yeah. And Quan is listed, but maybe not as much as, not as high as it would be today if you were compiling the list.
Right.
So, well, they won't be meeting again till a week from tomorrow.
So you'll plan to let them know that it's very out of date and that we will take a
We'll
look
work
at
on our
Okay.
page isn't that bad, but we'll work on it.
Okay. Good.
And that's all I had. Ashley has been writing letters to new residents.
And stalking them online to learn
Okay.
about them. Make sure I have their names spelled correctly.
This was really interesting. So,
And that is just to let them know, like, is it like a welcome committee thing or just a historical commission welcome thing?
We write to them if they've moved into a historic home or a home that's in one of the two historic districts in town.
Mhm.
do you know what you have, kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
Send them the copy of the inventory and some information about where they can find more in the district write-ups if they're in one of the National Register districts. Okay, next meeting. Third Tuesday is
The third Monday?
third Monday, I'm sorry.
It's the 17th,
It's not a leap year, so it has to be the 17th.
St.
March
Patrick's Day.
17th.
Works for me. Okay, well, stay warm and dry.
You too. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah,
Okay, so just a heads up about these minutes. What happens to them?
you circulate and get comments or corrections or,
Okay,
and then we approve them at the
at
next,
the next meeting, not to the next meeting, right?
at the next meeting.
Okay,
And then the approved minutes get posted on our page at whately.org.
all right. And who does the posting?
I send it to Jessica,
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
and everybody's style is different. We don't have a
I'm just gonna
standard
steal
format.
somebody's previous meeting minutes to be honest. Have you ever
I can send you letterhead if that was.
no,
That's
I think I can. Well, I assume I can just grab the one that Ashley sent, but
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
nobody does letterhead. So,
okay, sounds good.
well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay.
Yeah.